You guys can go get the Mac down at your house. You're not doing it on duty.
His wife will be at the house. Calm down.
That's true. That's true. If Bill and I are in this situation, I'm getting smoked, and Bill, being the nice guy, is dragging me, giving good directions.
While also getting smoked.
Yeah, probably also getting smoked. It took him 2 hours to figure out I had dyslexia, then I went right back to being on the perimeter. What's going on? It's Josh and Bill from Only Cops. We are back doing Officers React. Today we're watching another uncontextualized clip from Rookie Blue. This is Andy Gets Shot.
And if you want to give us the context, leave it in the comments.
Leave the comments below. First shout out to gloves.
50 more, that's it. Then the doors are shutting for good.
Great, the crowd's gonna go nuts.
Let's hope. Maybe the riot squad will let me
Are they
shoot
12?
someone with a water cannon.
What's wrong with you?
They let
I'm doing
21-years-olds
60 on
be
this
cops.
job. Need a little
Yes,
action.
that's true.
Fine, then go take the back of the line. They're
Oh
definitely
no,
not
it's
gonna-
Epstein.
Yikes! You know what this reminds me of?
What?
You remember Raccoon City PD? They have like these really cool, like anime-esque, like uniform. I've never seen a uniform like this ever. It's just like a really weird.
Well, it's because
Is this Canadian?
Canada.
This is Canadian?
Also, why is her ear tucked into her hat? That has to be uncomfortable.
That is weird. All I'm saying is it's kind of an odd. It doesn't look ballistic at all. I don't know
Agreed,
if they don't
yeah.
have. It doesn't look ballistic. And then the gloves they're wearing look like non-sterile gloves.
That was my first thought. They're not wearing vests. Okay.
And so it's kind of a weird. That's a weird deal. And also their push to talk kind of looks like the one I have in my Bowfang.
Yeah.
Or my Baofeng or whatever. It's like it's not. It is a budget production,
It's
but
fine.
I'm gonna see
Hey,
context.
you know what? Better cops than Darman. So.
I'd take this over Darman. We'll keep going. They at least look the part here.
Sorry to bother you, officer, but security told me that the line was over here, and I was waiting over there, and I didn't want to leave just in case. I feel ridiculous.
Maybe
My only
ballistic.
job was to stand in line and watch my friends play.
Stab
And now I'm not even
can't
in that line. Look, I'm watching my roommate's spot. We have wristbands.
Where's your friend?
She's just around the corner.
So there's nothing I can do. I mean, we're closing it off.
Look, she went to go get hot chocolate for me at parties.
She's not a bouncer. She's a cop.
I got confused. The guy said that it was to the right, and
You always do what people tell you to do?
pretty much.
Yeah, me too. Well, I used to anyway. Artist is really good, by the way. You know, it takes forever, but
You can't hurry love.
that's true. All right, I'll make sure I get you guys in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Seriously. My roommate has been dying to see this show.
Hey,
Yeah, no
you're,
problem.
you're a cop, not a bouncer. Like this is.
Yeah. What?
I'm gonna
What does
keep
she even have
things
to do
moving,
with
if
this?
that's okay with you.
Okay.
So if you're working, I guess like a part-time at a stadium, like you do deal with crowd control to a certain degree, and it's really just making sure that they're not passing boundaries. Like that's a hard boundary. That temporary fence. It's like a short little. You can see it in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. You're typically just making sure there's some adherence to them staying within those boundaries. You're not deciding who gets to go, who doesn't get to go. Oftentimes, the stadium, we had like 3 stadiums where we worked. They actually have their own security staff there. They have staff that maintains.
That works the entrance points like this.
Yeah, and they decide if there's weird treatment or you get to go to the bag line or the non-bag. This is not a PD discussion oftentimes. You're really just there to make sure that there's nothing going on. You do have like traffic control or something like that you might see, but this is a weird, that you'd even be approached for this is weird. And I would tell them, go ask staff. It'd be that quick of a conversation. Well, my friends, but go ask staff.
I'd say enjoy your hot chocolate in the back of the line.
Exactly. It's a weird, I understand and appreciate that she's trying to put like a good face forward or whatever, but like, and be friendly. And I totally understand professionalism
And she
and so on and
feels
so
for
forth.
girl to girl.
But it's a weird, it's just a weird situation. I don't know why you'd ever be in this situation, but we'll keep going.
Yeah, no problem.
She is being cool.
I'm gonna keep things moving, if that's okay with you.
Okay.
Creepy.
Boyfriend?
No, he's my was my training officer.
He's cute. I had a lab partner like that. Acts all tough, but
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wow, this escalated quickly
a little red button.
from her jacket.
Yep. I'm about to say, as the uniformed officer, you're probably the first person getting smoked.
Yeah, that first shot missed.
Yeah. What this highlights, and this is kind of the freakiest, if you ever watch any cop in a highly crowded area, the first thing you'll notice is that they don't look at individuals very often. They scan. It's called scanning. Anybody that's gotten any level of training when you're dealing with threats or looking for threats, you're constantly looking. You look at someone for a half second and then you're looking past them and you're scanning. Failure to do that is failure to recognize. Now, mind you, this guy's like a sniper. You're not going to see him. It's not like Call of Duty where you see like a little glint of light. Like if they're half worth their weight in stone, you're not going to see them at all.
Even on Call of Duty, it's too late once you see that.
Yeah, exactly. The fear here, and this is why like at events you typically see a very heavy police presence, is this is an incredibly target-rich environment for somebody that's wanting to hurt people. That's why your job as a police officer is not to deal with who's cutting in line or who's doing whatever. Your job is strictly there as security, and you're there to make sure that there's nothing weird, like a shooter or whatever it goes on. So why I thought the whole conversation should have been ask staff. I have scanning threats to do. You typically, I don't think that this chick is SWAT or anything like that. And typically what we had at the stadiums that we worked at, we have a full-time SWAT that would be there. Yeah. You'd have snipers in the rafters.
A lot of SWAT and K9.
And the second that first round gets cracked off, that guy's probably finding that dude pretty quickly and getting smoked really, really quickly.
Because chances are the SWAT officers have a much better advantageous position.
Well, they're better equipped because you're not trying to shoot back at somebody with a rifle with a handgun in a big crowd of people. You want somebody that has a very specifically built, thing. Counterterrorism and all this stuff, and SWAT is all designed to deal with this very specific threat. As a uniformed officer, you're there to get on the radio and start yelling, I see him, he's here, and give very good location for it so that the big boys can go do it. If Bill and I are in this situation, I'm getting smoked, and Bill, being the nice guy, is dragging me, giving good directions.
While also getting smoked.
Yeah, probably also getting smoked. But we're giving good information to the assets that can actually handle that threat. Yeah. The problem with kind of standing there, and it taking her by surprise, I'm not going to say is fair or unfair, because if you're spending 7 hours doing crowd control effectively, it's very easy not to get complicit, but to get numb to your surroundings. You just hear a bunch of white noise in the background after a while. So I don't think she did anything particularly wrong, but it's the reason why you don't get caught up in this, unless their kid's missing or something like that. Like, you're not getting caught up in a conversation with somebody because your job is to make sure there's nobody about to shank someone or get in a fight. You're trying to prevent things before they can escalate and cause harm. So that's a big L on doing that. And I'm guessing it is a ballistic vest because you can see on the vest they caught the bullet. Hey, shout out to Muzzle Discipline. They weren't just swinging him around. It's the only time low ready makes sense, except for this guy. I don't know what he's doing.
He's the training officer.
Okay, this is probably not the time. I'll pause it real quick. This is not the time to be doing this. You still have people running around, and you still don't. I haven't heard counter shots happening.
Yeah.
You literally, training is in this, and Uvalde be damned. But the training in this type of situation is you're walking over everybody until you stop the threat.
You also don't need 6 cops circling her, making it even easier to shoot more cops.
And that being said, I don't want to be so callous as to understand that these guys, this is their friend, this is their coworker, this is someone they have not just a professional but a personal relationship with. I get the inclination and the want to do it, but from a training perspective and from an emergency response perspective, you are not EMS. You're not fire, you're not a nurse, you are a police officer, and so your job is to keep the peace. Make peace happen so that these people can get assets. Maybe one person, I could see them grabbing this chick and dragging her to a safe place, and then you can work on them, right? As long as you have other officers going. And there's plenty of cops here, so there might be off-screen. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt that off-screen SWAT or just other officers that have a better ability of dealing with that got on the radio and they say, hey, the guy's running, they're giving a location and all that stuff, so these guys are safe enough. These other officers are doing what they should have been doing in the first place, and that's scanning. And so I'll actually bless the low ready here. I've had to do this a handful of times. We're either doing low ready or high ready because you're surrounded by people. You don't need to be swinging your gun around. So you'll look with your eyes first. And then once you see something you believe is a threat, you'll go and draw down on it. Typically, that's bad. If you look at building searches, you'll see this a lot of times where you'll see cops pointing at you. They'll be looking and then pointing their gun. That's stupid. If you're looking at an unknown threat area, your gun needs to be pointed there. The difference is here, nothing is a good backstop, so everywhere is not a safe place to point your gun. So you want to see the threat first and then point, because your job is safety at that point. So shout out to that. They at least for once in Hollywood did a good job with that. But we'll give them the benefit of the doubt that there's other people dealing with the situation.
1509, shots fired.
That's not good.
Supernova, Queens, Key, and Richardson. 2 people shot. Officer down. Russian ambulance.
And second,
right
I give them
away.
credit
Repeat,
for not
officer
just
down.
randomly pointing their guns and stuff.
Looks like a bullet just got stuck in your vest.
At least
Stay
it looks
put.
like they weren't
Try to
pointing
breathe, okay?
Yeah.
And you're fine. You just got winded. The bullet stuck in your vest, okay? I'll be back. I gotta be the boss right now.
That's true. If you're a supervisor, your job's to go and organize people. Somebody needs to be... oh, those are winter gloves. Somebody needs to be disarming probably this officer because she's going to start to go into shock. She just got shot. Somebody needs to be an advocate for her as the injured party. She is now the victim of a shooting, not a cop anymore. So you have typically like a buddy system. If you don't have one currently there, it'll get addressed to you. Where somebody is going to take responsibility for you as an injured party. Same thing with her. Like she's got a cop working on the victim, the chick in the red dress, or the red little jacket. Same thing's going to happen with this officer that's injured. You're going to have somebody go and be like, all right, I'm going to sit on this person. I'll go deal with this. Y'all all do cop stuff for everywhere else. You got securing the scene, figuring out if you got injured third parties. Are there more than one shooter? There are a lot of questions that need to be answered. I'm a smidge disappointed that supervisor was the first person to get on the radio, but I am happy to see that there wasn't just a bunch of people reaching for radios all yelling at the same time. That's not helpful. So at least there's that. He gave pretty decent radio traffic. Hey, I got 2 people injured. You know, I need EMS. I don't know if they said the scene was secure or not, but actually it was pretty decent traffic. Huh?
That scene's not secure.
Hell no, it's not. He'd be lying if he said yes, but at least they did give short, concise radio traffic, and it wasn't like a bunch of emotional, oh my God, why did it help? Like he was very professional about saying exactly what needed to be said on the radio and then getting the hell off it. Yeah. So I will give them a pass on that, but there's some weird stuff going on here.
Nash Diaz, get that thing. Move it over there. Get it out of the way. Right here, right here. Wound, back of the head. The red jacket.
If she got shot in the back of the head,
We're going to call that DRT. Dead right there.
No. McNally, sit back, relax. It's okay, okay? I need you to stay put for a second.
If the scene's secure, I'm okay with this.
I know you are.
how can the scene be secure? They have no idea
I'm
where the
with
shooter
you.
is.
It wouldn't have gotten secured that quickly, but
They're just lucky that he's not firing off more rounds.
Diaz, round up those people. Get them over there. Don't let anybody go, all right? Get them all over there. Okay, everybody.
nope. This is scene security. There you go. Shout out to this guy. Look at that.
Can't go. Just calm down. Just calm
That is
down.
a 75% of a rear naked choke or a vascular neck restraint. No.
Oh yeah,
All right,
that's
Epstein, you're gonna stay with her until
Yeah,
further
down.
notice.
Come on, EMS.
Write everything down. Time of arrival, time she goes into surgery, all of her doctor's names, time that she's declared, if she's declared. Okay?
No sign of the weapon.
Picking Diaz.
Wow, they did that quick. Ooh, I don't see the weapon. I guess we're fine. Yeah, you'd be shutting everything down. The streets are getting shut down. The neighboring and adjoining buildings are getting shut down. Like,
it's TV though. They only have a certain amount of time.
I guess you're right. Let's just say there was time dilation here. And
Yeah.
This is, It was
Look
weird.
how many more cops are there.
Also pretty calm for just getting shot at. I will say that. This is normally you don't get this calm this quickly. I guess it's just good officer presence.
Also, is that the same guy?
This is the supervisor, yeah.
When did he put a uniform on?
He took his jacket off. He had like a jacket on. I'm guessing it's cold because she was wearing like isotoners. They were like the cold weather gloves, like little leather gloves. So.
Detective Joe Rosati. She's trained in homicide. She works out at 27.
Sam Suarez.
Hey, Oliver Shaw, how are you?
Where's the rookie, the one who got hit?
Andy McNally. She's right over there.
Okay, then.
Interesting.
I'm gonna start with her. You guys look like you have the rest
Detectives
of
probably
this
aren't. Maybe in a big city they're showing up that quickly.
Frank.
Maybe.
But and it's, to be fair, in a very big department like that, especially when you have specialized units, all the time you're running into people that you've never met.
Yeah.
You've been working in the same department for years, but you've never had to cross paths. So I think that's pretty kosher. Detectives would take over in an instance like this because they have way more training and way more experience dealing with this kind of stuff. But
And especially like long-term detectives, they're not going to know rookie officers.
no. Oh hell no! They're gonna be like, whoa,
Who?
like, what's your badge number? Golly! So.
First of all, we're gonna need your vest. Okay? Walter, right?
Crime scene probably doing this.
Relax.
Also probably wearing gloves. shout out to that guy wearing gloves. She probably wouldn't be touching any more of this. There's all evidence.
Ooh, forensics.
I'm serious. You're gonna have to go to the hospital. Let's see how soon.
I'm fine, really.
How many times have you said that today?
100.
Well, you're probably gonna have to say it about 100 more, but good on you. McNally, right?
Yeah.
You wanna tell me what happened?
She's gonna have to write a report. So.
Yeah,
No.
Also, I don't think they force them to.
No.
Well, she's not forcing her, but
Typically, interviewing somebody right after something like that happens is actually a pretty bad idea. You can kind of go into the psychology of it. I did producer one's probably a little bit more educated on this than I am, but like
our old department, you had 3 days.
Right in the instance of it happening, you got a lot going on in your brain,
Yeah.
right? So typically they'll give you about a day or two, make you drink a bunch of water. That's the one thing I haven't seen is like they like drown your ass with water. I think it's supposed to bring your brain down. Something about drinking water, it's supposed to bring down like your stress level or whatever. But she's going to be typing up an affidavit with everything. It's not that they wouldn't interview her afterwards. They're absolutely going to. You're probably not doing it right then and there.
Right
it's
there
like,
on the crime scene?
Yeah, probably not. And most of it's like
maybe
the only time that you're probably getting something like that. We dealt with this a lot of times. We have stabbings or shootings that happen and cops weren't there yet. I'm asking, did you see who it was? Do you know who it was?
Now I
Where
could
are
see
you
if
hit?
they asked, like, did you see the shooter?
Sure, especially because that shooter is still at large.
Yeah.
That I totally understand that line of questioning, but like the way she's going about doing it, there's no level of urgency to it. Like they should have been asking her this while she was laying on the ground ripping at this lady's jacket to get the little button.
Yeah. Did you see him?
They need to be asking her that then, not now that allegedly the scene's secure or whatever. You need to be getting that
Well, the
information.
command vehicle's there. It's secure.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, they got the whole on the trailer and all that stuff.
The thing you need a Class A to drive.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah. I got to sit in one of those on a SWAT call out. It was the worst thing ever. I was like a super
awful.
rookie, and I got stuck being a scribe for like 2 hours. And literally anything went out over the radio, and I had to write it down.
They picked you
Oh, it was the worst.
with dyslexia?
Yep.
Wow.
You know how long I got to do that? It took them 2 hours to figure out I had dyslexia. Then I went right back to being on the perimeter. He looked at my sheet of paper like, what the fuck?
Can't even read it.
They sent me back. So.
Did a 6-year-old write this?
Yeah, exactly. So, know what your strengths are, boys and girls. Then there's this guy like, damn, there's a lot of paperwork, man. His face.
Fine. That was really scary. I mean, that hurts so bad. I'm alright. It's just that I've already got this bruise. It's forming and...
Bruh.
What?
Bruh.
Sam.
Bruh.
You gotta be kidding me.
Who's that guy?
You gotta get behind that truck.
Whoa. Is he going to call it out? No?
Police, get your hands up. Hands
Wow,
up.
that's kind of
Any
sus.
weapons on you? No. Turn around.
Well,
Get
there's
down
still
the
This
an
is the
active shooter.
sussest
Down
of
the ground.
There's
cops.
still an active shooter.
But like...
I just didn't see what was in his hand.
You got a gun on you, so help me God. Give me that.
Kind of a gun. With these gloves.
This is Swark. I got a mail party. In possession of a 380. I'm in the lot behind the
Should have been
communications
radioed
truck.
out first. Probably.
To be
that
fair-
was real weird.
Nah, I don't think so. You have an active shooter that
No.
shot 2 people.
So they don't have a description.
How could they?
No, but what I'm getting at is you don't have a description. You just happen to see a guy standing there while you're trying to go
He had
there.
something in his hand.
Oh,
I
didn't
just
that
couldn't
he
see
had
what it
something.
was.
Oh, I didn't see that he had something in his hand. Maybe he saw something I didn't.
This is weird. This part's
That's
weird.
very... Oh!
Yeah,
He
gun.
had the gun in his
Gun.
hand. Okay, that's fair. Okay. His
I knew he
response
had
is-
something in his hand.
Okay, his response is completely justified then.
And I was like, maybe it's a
this
cell
is
phone,
like
maybe it's
the
a gun.
dumbest bad guy on the planet. But
Yeah.
so the reason why we really freaked. So you don't pull an officer. Literally, there's just a meme about this week about like trying to have any sort of relations with a fellow officer. Like right, like let's give him the benefit. I don't know the context here. Shout out to give us context in the comments.
It was her training officer. We know the context.
Okay, so it's a training officer, not the spouse, not the significant other, not nothing, and you're pulling
Not
her
yet.
while on duty, post a shooting to try to get your
Not
Mac
yet.
on.
He's trying to, wife it up, dude.
I guess, dude. Whatever.
Like every good corporal does with their female rookies.
Incredibly inappropriate. Go get a beer afterwards. You guys can go get the Mac down at your house. You're not doing it on duty.
Nah,
in the middle of an active scene.
His wife will be at the house.
Oh,
Calm
that's
down.
true. That's true. That's true. Maybe he's more high speed, low drag than we thought.
Maybe.
Whatever.
Look at his
Infidelity
haircut.
is clearly a high speed, low drag in
He saw the gun and you didn't. So.
That's true. That's true. Maybe he could see.
Maybe he didn't see the gun.
He could see that she needed a make out, I guess.
He said,
we'll just say that.
if you have a gun on you, I swear to God. So I don't know if he saw it or not. I don't know. He sure acted like he did.
That's wild. Being in possession of a gun in the area of an active shooter does not make you guilty, but it is going to get you detained, and they're for sure going to ask a lot of hard questions. GSR is probably going to happen, which is gunshot residue testing. If there's none on him, and that's a fully loaded magazine, good luck. Also, they should be able to recover the projectile, not only off probably the inside of the slate's brain.
Oof.
But
I was thinking the one that hit the vest that you could like see, like right there.
The nice thing about vests too is that they'll actually fully capture that bullet, so there'll be no fragmentation. You'll get the weight. The difference in weight in a bullet on a 380 versus a 9mm is going to be different, and you'll be able to tie it to the bullet weight of the bullets that are actually in his magazine. That's the kind of forensic work that'll actually tie you to it. So it's none of this like wrong place, wrong time, unless you got a really shitty lawyer, I guess. But these are kind of some of the clues. Just seeing, because let's just so happen to say like it's Texas, and you can carry, it's permitless carry here in Texas. The likelihood at a sporting event that there's people carrying guns is pretty high. The arrest will go down the same way if you're holding a gun around an area.
Yeah, I
with
mean,
an active shooter,
to
yeah.
just be out like this is an open
This
carry.
is really
this is
stupid.
Just
this is
holding a gun.
This is brandishing.
Yeah.
And again, I am one of the biggest supporters of the Second Amendment, and I'll always be very outspoken about this. That is not covered under. Yeah, that's not.
That's very dumb.
You're lucky he didn't get shot, to be honest, especially because that's technically pointed.
Yeah.
Leave it in a holster. Leave it concealed if you want to be really smart.
Or in your pocket.
Or in your pocket or whatever.
People.
Yeah, you never know. But either way, don't do this shit. And there's going to be a lot of other investigations that are going to have to tie him to that. Also, don't get your Mac on with an officer on duty. Free advice.
Very weird.
Free advice.
Very weird.
Anything else in this clip?
That was it.
Cool.
Well, we don't find out if he's the shooter?
Wow, trash.
Wow, someone give me some context, please.
So if you guys would like to fill us in on context, go ahead and put it in the comments below. If you'd like to see more of Rookie Blue, I hope not, but you can ask for it. We are at the mercy of our subscriber base. If you guys like this type of content, we typically try to produce this stuff as often as we can. Go ahead and, again, put that in the comments. Go ahead and subscribe if you'd like to see more of this stuff, like this stuff, and share it with other people that may be purveyors of actually seeing if what you're seeing is bullshit or not. We also go live typically twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30 Central Standard Time. If you guys want to go hang out with us, we also have a Discord if you guys are interested. But to keep the bullshit out of our Discord, that is through a paywall. You can be part of our Patreon group. It's as little as $1 a month. That gives you access to it and more direct access to us. And that is how we share clips and decide on what we do. So if you guys want to do that, I'd be more than happy to have it. Thank you for riding 2 men with us. Until next time, peace.